So of course we have to have different, and that attitude, I know it can be easily mocked, but that attitude is firmly entrenched on all these issues. And it gets back to what we talked about before. The left really does believe, either because they're more affluent now, or they feel they're better credentialed, or they control most of the institutions, that was almost their birthright, or maybe most of them are not actively religious, but maybe there's some type of divine force that has bequeathed them those opportunities and success. But whatever the reason is, they feel that they have an entitlement to be hypocritical because they are morally superior and better educated than the rest of us. And so if they make a decision that isn't equally applicable to both sides, they just say, well, you've got a point, I am hypocritical, but on the other hand, you can't compare who I am or where I live or what I do or what my child does or what I think with you guys. And it was brought home. There was a commercial that came out this week. I don't know if you saw it, from the left. And, I believe all fair and square in politics. I don't think, anything's beyond the pale, basically. But they had a lot of voices that they were trying to make as Trump supporters to talk about their outrageous extreme views. So they did these interviews. I don't know if you saw it. So the first guy says, I just think what people do in their bedrooms is my business, and I don't want them to have this. That's fine. And the next person goes, I don't want one abortion. If there's people have to have back alley abortion, that's what they deserve. Next person, there's only 2 seconds. It was all these social hot. But the point I'm making is not what they said, but the way they looked. They were fat. They had perspiration under their arms. They were half shaven. They looked like they were deranged. And it wasn't just one, it was every single one of them. So the message is these...
Over 7,000 people have used the information in this book to ditch their 9-to-5 jobs and start...
Positions that are different than ours are held by people that don't have the same right to have them as we do because they're substandard people. And that was physically and visually and figuratively transparent when they did that. And you wanted to think, well, there's professors that believe the same as these guys. Why don't you just have one professor or one lawyer or one CEO? But they didn't. And so it's a reflection about what they think. And when I'm around them during the week, some weeks, it's unapologetic. It really is that how they think. And I don't know. It's sometimes it's minor. I go to a restaurant and I show my license. If I have a credit card once in a while, they don't know me and they'll say, where's Selma? And I'll say Fresno. Oh my God, I would never go there. Why would you live there when you can live up here? Or they'll say things like, where do you live? So I asked a guy the other day, I said, he said, there's nowhere to eat there, is there? I said, yeah, there's plenty of places to eat. And I said, I bet you if I ask you, you can tell me 5 good restaurants in Paris and 5 good in London and 5 good in Rome, but you can't tell me one in Bakersfield or Fresno. What do you think? 180 miles away from you versus 4,000. And he didn't want to answer that question because he said he knew the best restaurants in Europe and he didn't know one, and he did not want to know one 180 miles away from him. And so when you have that attitude, it's predictable. And the problem is the people, for the first time, I think, from talking to them, they're starting to be aware that these people don't like them. And they're starting to be confident that they are the ones that make the country. They're the ones that go to Helmand province. They're the ones that frack. They're the ones that grow food. They're the ones that find rare earth minerals. They're the ones that climb up on wind machines. They do all the stuff that makes life possible, and they feel they're not appreciated, they're not compensated to the same degree. And it'll be very interesting if that's over 50% of the population, and what November and beyond will try to demonstrate to us, will popular pushback be as powerful as institutional control? In other words, if you don't have Hollywood and television and professional sports, administrative state, the media, the foundations, Wall Street, can you, by sheer numbers, organize people to show that you reject where the country's going? And that'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And